Hi, I'm Ann. I am the founder and owner of Seattle Sundries. We've been in business since I think 2004. We make handcrafted, all natural soaps, solid lotion bars, lip balms, and then we have some other products that have my artwork on them, the same artwork that's on the soap labels I've colorized, and we have on these great mugs and tote bags. So those are our main product lines, but we started with the soap and skincare items, and those are really the heart of what we produce here. And it is all actually produced in our shop space. We have a very small retail area. Here, I'll turn this around. So this is our shop. It's located in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle, which is in the northwest part of Seattle. We have a small retail area. We're only open on Saturdays for regular walk-in customers, and then we're open by appointment during the week, because over here is where my shop manager, Britt, makes most of our products, almost all of our products. All of our soaps and our solid lotions and our lip balms are made here. We use only all natural ingredients. Up there are all of the essential oils that we use in all of the skincare products. I'm going to be sending with your rep samples little boxes that have these tiny little bottles with essential oil scents in them, rather than sending the actual soaps and lotion bars, all of them, because they would be quite heavy to lug around, and I just think this is a better way to go. So they have these cute little bottles in them. They're like 3 milliliters. They're tiny. And one thing to note about them is that there's this little tab. When you open it up, you want to flip this up so that you can smell more easily, and then this just closes so you don't have things spilling in your bag or whatever. So I hope that's helpful.
I thought we could go through our product catalog and look at each page so that I can go over the details about Seattle Sundries products. So here is our newly formatted 2024 product catalog. There's a welcome page that talks about me, Anne. I'm the founder. I started the company back in the I started making soap back in the early 90s. I learned from a book with a friend of mine and just loved it so much that I stuck with it. I started Seattle Sundries in 2004 or 2005. I can't remember exactly, but quite a while ago. Started as a home-based business, and about probably 10 years ago, we moved out into a regular space in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle, which is in the northwest part of Seattle. And that's where we've been ever since. We did move into a larger space in the same building 2 years ago. So we've been in that space for 2 years. And hope you can come visit us sometime. It would be great. There's a lot about the products that we carry that is related to me and my background. I do all of the artwork for all of the labels. It takes me a while to do it, but I create things. I start with drawings. Sometimes I use photographs for inspiration, and I create everything in a digital format on the Adobe Illustrator program. And I'll get a little bit to that a little bit more later. Our ingredients are a highlight of our product line. We only use natural ingredients. They're not necessarily organic. Some are, but not all. So our products wouldn't be specifically or legally categorized as organic, but they are all natural. We only use essential oils for scents, not synthetic fragrance oils, and that is in part because back when I first started making soap in the 90s, I used fragrance oils, which are fine in many respects, very inexpensive and come in a dizzying variety of scents, but I got headaches from them. And I decided that was not something that I wanted to pass along to. I didn't want to keep using myself, and definitely didn't want to pass along to customers. So all of the scents are natural, which does mean that they don't necessarily have the same strength as the synthetic cousins. That means all of our products are more subtly, I think, nicely scented. They're not heavy and cloying, but they're more subtly scented. And the colors that we use are also all natural. So you can see on this picture of a stack of bare soap bars. They come in lots of different colors, and all of those colors are created by things in nature, like clays, or this one right here is, I think, fishtail soap. It has little poppy seeds in it, activated black charcoal. I'll talk about those things in the specific soaps, but you can see that there is a wide variety of colors, but they're all more natural and muted, which I like. The first section in the catalog is our bath and shave soaps. You can see that all of the bath and shave soaps are round. Actually, all of our products are round. I like round things. And you can see some examples here of some of the label art that I've created. The lather is really amazing on all of our soaps. Just like most handcrafted soap makers, we do what you would call small batch soap making. We make about 80 bars in a batch. And unlike large scale commercial producers of soap and big factories, they actually remove the glycerin from their soap, which is a natural part of the chemical process of soap making. They remove the glycerin and sell it. It's a valuable commodity in its own right. And so commercial soaps don't have a high glycerin content like handcrafted soap does. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that a lot of people really like handcrafted soap, even though they don't realize it. But it's just more nourishing and moisturizing for people's skin because of the higher glycerin content. Anyway, and has great lather. All right, now we'll get into some specific products. First, we have Bee's Knees soap, which is scented with lavender, and it has honey and beeswax in it. The color comes from rotten jot powder. I'm probably not saying that right. It's a root that gives it a kind of a subtle purple hue. It's got all of the tins of soap have a little write-up that goes with it. So this one talks about working like hard as a honeybee, and I write all of those little stories to go along with each soap. And most of them have this printed on the bottom label. Bee's Knees does. Some of the older soaps that we haven't printed new labels for yet have the story on the inside of the tin on a little card that's stuck to the inside of the tin, but they all have the write-up on the actual tin of soap. See, next is Bitchin' Kitchen soap, which is the only one in the line of soaps that I would kind of guide people towards not using it as a full body bar. You could. There's nothing that would hurt you to use it. As a matter of fact, my dad uses it as a bath bar because he likes the smell and stuff. But it would be probably a little bit more harsh on your skin because you can see these little white flecks in it are from borax, which is a cleaning booster. And it's really meant as a hand soap in the kitchen to get rid of kitchen smells like fish or whatever. And it also is really great as a dish, a solid dish and pot and pan cleaning soap. It's great to leave in a little bowl or on a little plate next to the sink with a scrubby sponge. It lathers up really nicely. The little brown flecks in it are espresso beans ground up, so it does have a little bit of texture. And the scents are, the essential oils in it are a combination of cinnamon leaf, coffee, nutmeg, almond. I can't even remember all of the essential oils that are in the blend. It looks like I need to update that because it doesn't list all of them there on this page. But anyway, it's a really nice mixture that smells very kitcheny. You can see that the label has a chef holding a big fish. That's a nod to Pike Place Market. There's a bottle of wine here, a nod to Walla Walla. We have morel mushrooms for all of our foragers out there. We have a stock pot that has a tentacle coming out of it that could either be seen as an octopus or a kraken. That's what I put it in there for. I'm a hockey fan. And next we have Buck Naked soap, which is a completely unscented hypoallergenic soap. No color, no smell. Really good for people with sensitive skin, people who have fresh tattoos, babies. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be changing the label art on this one in the next probably year or so to something probably themed with either babies or tattoos, or maybe babies with tattoos. I'm working on that one. Anyway, next up is Cowpoke soap. This is scented with a lemon eucalyptus and cedar wood and lavender blend. It's eucalyptus dominant. That's the main smell. It has little flecks of ground buckwheat in it. It's very lovely. And the label art on this one shows a father and a young, presumably daughter, because she's got a long braid, and son on a ranch. That's a nod to my background because I grew up on a cattle ranch in North Idaho. And my dad and my brother and I were a unit there. So that's not actually us, but it's a nod to that background. I do that a lot when I'm trying to come up with ideas. I try to use something that I know. All right, moving on to the next page, we have fishtail soap. This soap is a really, if you've ever bought fishing soap before, you will find, or if you shop for fishing soap, you'll find that a really common, traditional, popular, whatever you want to call it, scent for fishing soap is anise, because there's folklore around it saying that the smell of anise covers up human scent, and so it makes it easier for people fishing to catch the fish. I don't know if that's true, but that's why so many people carry soap, fishing soap that's scented with anise. Ours has anise and tea tree. It's a nice combination. To me, anise is a little bit overpowering on its own, so the tea tree is a nice combo with it. Tea tree also is an amazing oil in all kinds of ways, in terms of being antibacterial. I can't remember. It has a lot of great health benefits or properties. The actual image here is a man holding a big salmon, and you can't really see it on the screen, but the face of this man happens to be Ivar Haglund, who is famous for Ivar's restaurants and being on TV in the Northwest. So you've probably seen something about him. Next up is Gardener's Gold soap. This is a really popular soap with everyone. It's probably the freshest smelling of all the soaps that we carry. It's a pretty yellow color because it's made with carrot juice. That's what gives it that pretty golden hue. The scent is a combination of geranium, lavender, and grapefruit. Very refreshing. And it's got cute little girl gardening. She's got her galoshes on, watering can. She's got some chickens in the background. We have a lot of people who raise chickens around here in the Northwest. So lovely soap. All right, next is Highland Fling. This is kind of an outlier in terms of being Northwest themed. Although if you have any Scottish heritage, you know that we have a very strong contingent of Scottish heritage folks in the Pacific Northwest. I play the bagpipes, and that's actually the connection here. I love it. This is definitely one of my favorite soaps. It doesn't have any added scent, but it contains a pretty high percentage of honey and beeswax. And the honey, when the soap is going through the chemical process, which is called saponification, it gets really hot. It's an exothermic chemical reaction, so it heats up a lot, and it basically sort of caramelizes the honey. And so this soap has a really nice, natural, subtle, sweet scent to it, kind of like reminds me of brown sugar. I love it. And it has oatmeal flecks in it, so it is exfoliating, although we grind up the oatmeal very finely so that it's not too scratchy. But this is an exfoliating soap. So this is another one that I'm planning to probably change the label art on in the next probably year or two, simply because the Scottish thing is not super well connected with the rest of the product line. I like the artwork, but I will probably be changing that one. Next up is a huge seller, Jet City soap. Obviously, we have the Space Needle, the monorail. We've got a Boeing jet there flying over the sky. It is a lovely. Oh, it looks like I need to change the ingredients list on that one. This says frankincense and myrrh. That is incorrect. It is a combination of cedarwood, lavender, petitgrain, amyris. It's a combination of 5 or 6 different essential oils. I would say that it's probably cedar and lavender dominant, and it has little flecks of green in it that look kind of like pine needles, but they're actually little dill leaves. It doesn't smell like dill at all, but it just gives it this really pretty green color. All right, moving on. Here we have Kindred Spirit soap. This is one of our newer ones. Has a cute duo of grizzly bears on a tandem bicycle. It's a pretty pink color that comes from madder root powder, and it's scented with almond essential oil. So it smells kind of like marzipan. We have actually 3 different products that are scented like almond, and that is largely because I love almond scented things. So anyway, the theme is sort of about friendship, or partners as friends, partners as companions, husband, wife, whatever. So this would be a great one for Valentine's Day or weddings or friendship. It's a very nice soap. Next is Manly Man soap, also very popular. This is a really traditional scent. I forgot to say about Kindred Spirit, it doesn't have any exfoliating, scratchy anything in it. It's quite smooth. Manly Man also is very smooth, no exfoliating additives. The scent blend is clary sage, vetiver, and lime. Clary sage and vetiver are both very traditional oils for men's skincare products. I would say old school men's skincare products. They're the kind of thing that you might smell and think, oh, that smells like my grandfather, in a good way. Anyway, it's very lovely, kind of musky, smoky scented with a lime freshness on the end part of the scent. So, and the write-up is very funny about different kinds of men and being manly and all of that. So this is one that I might also be changing the label art on. I haven't decided, but it's possible. For all of these, I would not be changing the actual soap, just the label art. Probably not changing the name either, except for the Highland Fling. All right, next up is Road Trip soap. This is a hippie themed patchouli and orange scented soap that's colored with red French clay. Clay is very good for your skin. We have several soaps that contain clay for that reason. We have a little VW hippie bus here that has rainbows and peace signs and paisley swirls on it. Talks about taking road trips and tripping around, free living. Next is definitely our most popular soap. Our biggest seller is Sasquatch soap. Probably not a surprise with all of the Sasquatch stuff out there. It's very popular right now. This is one of the earlier soaps. This soap was in our very first product line way back when. As a matter of fact, I have the trademark to Sasquatch soap and have been defending it for a number of years. I can tell you stories about that later. Anyway, it is made with tea tree, cedarwood, and lemon essential oils. It's tea tree dominant. It's a really nice combination of scents. I would say it's woodsy. It's not necessarily masculine. I think the scent appeals to anybody who likes woodsy smelling things. It does have black walnut hull powder in it, which it makes it a little bit textured, not super scratchy, but definitely a little bit of texture. It also has cocoa powder, gives it that brown color, and a very funny little write-up about Sasquatch and bathing, because Sasquatch is supposed to smell really bad. That's how the idea came to be for this soap. I was sitting with my brothers around the dinner table one night drinking a beer and trying to come up with soap ideas, and one of my brothers mentioned that Sasquatch is supposed to smell really bad. So anyway, that's where that idea came from back in the 90s. Next up is Slapshot soap. This is our hockey themed soap, and it is perfect because the soap bar looks exactly like a hockey puck. It is the same size, same shape, same everything. It is colored with black activated bamboo charcoal powder. So it's a totally black bar, and the suds look a little gray, but they don't stain anything because it's actually small particles of charcoal, really fine particles of charcoal. It's really good for your skin, just like all the charcoal products that are out there. It's really detoxifying. The write-up is hilarious. We sell a lot of this soap. The scent is tea tree and spearmint, very refreshing, great odor fighting oils. And yeah, that's a good one. Moving on, another big seller, Sunrise soap. This one is probably one of the most popular scent-wise, along with Gardener's Gold. It is spearmint and orange scented, and there are little flecks of orange peel in it that give it a little bit of texture. The theme is sports, getting up early, making the most of your day. The image on the label is the Fremont Bridge, the Fremont Drawbridge, and here we have a rowing quad on the Fremont Canal down there under the Fremont Bridge. This theme comes from the fact that two of my kids, both my daughters, rowed competitively. My older daughter very competitively for a few years, so I created this soap when she was heavy in the crew world, and it's a very popular soap. All right, moving on. Slippery Slope. This is another sports themed one. It is scented with the wintry smells of clove and sweet orange, and the dark color comes from red clay, Australian red reef clay, and it is pretty self-explanatory. Skiers, snowboarders, that's Mount Rainier in the background. It's a lovely winter soap. And our newest soap is Troll Soap. This was inspired by well, a bunch of different things actually. If you have been reading, if you were reading the paper much last summer and fall, there is a Danish environmental artist named Thomas Dambo who came to the Northwest and with a crew of builders and coordinated the building of 5 huge wooden trolls in different places in the Pacific Northwest. We have one in Issaquah, there's one on Bainbridge, there's one down in West Seattle, there's one, I can't even remember where they all are, there's one in Portland. And he uses all recycled lumber from pallets and things like that. It's a very cool project. You should look up if you don't know anything about it. I was able to help on the build for the Issaquah troll. So there's that connection, the environmental connection, because trolls are in folklore supposed to be one with nature, protectors of nature and the natural world, and also very much a Scandinavian, a part of Scandinavian folklore, which is a big part of at least our part of Seattle. I live in Ballard. We live in Ballard, and our store is in Ballard. So all of those things come together to create troll soap. The scent is pine, rosemary, lavender, petitgrain. The green color comes from French green clay. It's very smooth, a lovely soap. All right, so I think that was it for the regular bath and body bars. We have 3 shave soaps. Filthy Rich shave soap, which is scented with bay rum or Pimenta racemosa, I think is the botanical name for it. Anyway, bay rum, traditional shaving scent or men's scent. The old school is almond scented, and smooth shave soap is coriander and citrus blend that to me reminds me of Earl Grey tea or something like that. All 3 have added clay, which helps with razor glide, and additives for skin like vitamin E oil and wheat germ oil. And the top 2, Filthy Rich and Old School, are made with primarily a tallow base. Tallow is rendered beef fat and is a really traditional soap ingredient. It, I think, produces a really nice bar of soap, and hardcore shaving aficionados often look for tallow-based soaps. But some people don't dig animal fat in their soap. Not that there's any remaining after the soap actually goes through the chemical process, but nonetheless, some people don't want that. So we also have smooth shave soap, which is all vegetable with primarily olive oil as its main oil, which it makes a lovely, gentle, really good for sensitive skin bar, but the lather is not great. I mean, the razor glides just fine, but you don't get that sort of picture perfect big bunch of bubbles on your face look that you get with the other 2. They're all very nice though. And then we also sell one shave set. It's a combination of a silver tip badger hair shave brush. Silver tip badger is considered the highest quality kind of shave brush you can get. These are imported from China. I don't believe you can buy badger hair in the United States. At least I haven't found it. So the brushes and these components are imported. But I think everybody's are imported, to my knowledge. Anyway, so we've got a brush. We've got a lovely lightweight EVA travel case with a zipper to hold everything in, and it's quite small. And then we have a stainless steel bowl to build the lather in that has a lid on it. And then an acrylic, black acrylic brush stand, because when you're letting the brush dry, you're not supposed to set it on its end so that the water runs back down into the knot of the hair. You're supposed to leave it hanging down like this so that it can truly drip dry. That helps to keep the hair from deteriorating and makes it so that it does not become a place for bacteria to gather. So that's why the brush stand is important. Anyway, okay, moving on. Next, we have our Happy Hands solid lotion bars. These are, I think right now, really our fastest growing product line. Solid lotion bars are something that more and more people are becoming familiar with and getting hooked on, frankly. So this is a beeswax based lotion bar. It's a combination of beeswax, shea butter, wheat germ oil, sweet almond oil, essential oils, vitamin E oil, jojoba, and all of these. It's kind of like if you think about the way lip balm works on your lips. It's solid until it touches your lips, and the warmth of your skin melts it just enough to glide on. That's basically exactly what a lotion bar does. It's just in a a puck form. So each tin has a little pretty piece of colored parchment paper in it that allows you to pull it out of the tin really easily. And you just rub a little bit on your hands, and it soaks in, and the beeswax helps protect your skin, keep in the good moisture, and protects it from the elements. It smells lovely. It's very compact, great for travel. And the name has always been Happy Hands, but recently we changed the label art to this two hands, celebrating. Basically, it's a play on the emoji that you find when you open your little emoji choices. That is supposed to mean celebration. So I like it because you could tie it in with any kind of celebration as a thank you gift or anything related to celebrating or being happy. Next, we have our Smooch Stick lip balms. We have 4 varieties or scents or flavors or whatever you want to call it right now. We were also carrying sweet espresso, but I just decided that we're gonna discontinue that one because we just weren't selling enough of it, and I always want everything to be fresh. So these are our 4. We have lavender lemon, orange geranium, pink grapefruit, and spearmint lime. So with the exception of pink grapefruit, they are all a combination of a fruit and a flower or an herb of some sort. They're just very slightly sweet, with licorice root, derivative of licorice root. It's a sweetener powder. Just take a tiny, tiny little bit of it mixed in with the oils and the wax and stuff. Has apricot oil, vitamin E oil, as I said, beeswax, castor oil, shea butter. I don't know if I said that. We sell them in a box of 12, and it comes with a little point of purchase display box here. You just fold up the back and you can see the signage right on the box. Next, we have our 15-ounce coffee and tea mugs. You can see how big they are in relation to the size of this is my daughter's hands. She's not a little daughter. She's much taller than me. These are all colorized versions of some of our soap labels. So here's the label from Bee's Knees, Fishtail, Gardener's Gold, Jet City, Kindred Spirit, and Sasquatch. And I just decided that those labels were cool and I wanted to add some color to them, and I liked the way they turned out. And so I thought, oh, that would be great on a mug. So they hold 15 ounces of liquid, and I use one every morning. They're great. And they're very dishwasher color safe. I had another mug that was the same sort of construction that I really liked, but it got bleached out in the dishwasher horribly. And these definitely do not. As I said, I use one every single day. Next up, we have the same 6 labels on our 100% cotton canvas tote bags. This is my other daughter who's modeling. You can see they're pretty good size. They're not huge. I wouldn't call them necessarily grocery bag size. They're maybe just slightly smaller than your average brown grocery bag. But they're great. They're great for groceries. I use them for that all the time, but they're also good. I would say they're a good like book bag size, and the handles are nice because they're long enough to put over your shoulder, but they're not so long that they get tangled up in everything. To me, they're the perfect size handles. The bags themselves are imported, but we have a heat press at the shop, and I actually apply all of the artwork on the bags myself. So they are semi handmade. And lastly, we have our magnets. Again, the same 6 varieties, plus we also have the slippery slope image colorized here, and what else? Oh, and the road trip also colorized. So we've got 2 sets that are available, and they come, I don't have a picture of it here in the catalog, but they come attached to a card, and the UPC code and stuff is on the back of the card with a cello in an envelope. So they're pretty easy for display. And that is it. The last page just has a few shots of the shop, some information about our wholesale system and turnaround time and all of that. That is one thing I wanted to mention. I'm not really sure how much product to stock, so I will definitely appreciate feedback from you all as you're going out and talking to stores. If you are anticipating, well, I just like to get feedback about how much I should be expecting, how much stock I should expect to have going out in the coming months, because the soaps in particular have a 4-week cure time. So if you were to come to me and say, you needed, not that this is likely, but you needed 1,000 bars of something or other. If we don't already have 1,000 bars stocked, which we probably don't, we would have to make it, which we could do pretty quickly. We can make 1,000 bars in a couple of days, but it would have to then sit for 4 weeks before we'd be able to ship it out to you. So I will need to come to a good place with figuring out how much we need to keep in stock for the season or for prospective customers. So I appreciate feedback on all of that. I don't think there's anything else that I've missed right now. If you're in Seattle, I would love to have you stop by. I teach classes, soap making and bath fizzy classes at the shop once a month. It'd be great to see you at one of those. And please feel free to call me if you ever have any questions about any of the products. One other thing that I wanted to mention, I kind of talked about it in the beginning when I mentioned that the soaps, because they're scented with essential oils, aren't very strongly scented. The scent does just dissipate over time because it's a natural scent. In other words, flowers lose their scent after a while, and most natural things do, unlike the synthetic oils. And so even though a bar of soap will be great and entirely usable as a bar of soap for years and years and years and years, the scent will go away. And I know that scent is a really important part of people selling products. So it's important that we make sure that people are getting as fresh as possible product. And so the soaps don't have a shelf life per se because they are usable for so long. But if you are starting to notice that, for example, the sample soaps that I'm sending to you, if you notice that there really isn't much scent left in them anymore, let me know, please, and I'll send you some newer ones because I want them to represent well to potential stores. And also, for all of those reasons, I actually would prefer for stores to buy smaller quantities more often than huge quantities, once a year or twice a year or whatever, because I like things to stay as fresh as possible so that everybody has a great experience with the products. So anyway, I hope that all makes sense. Please call me or email me if you have any questions, and I hope to get to meet you all in person at some point. Thank you.